You don't, like, my view is traditional gender roles would dictate that when it comes to the, I mean, obviously this is like typically more so if you're married or in like a really long-term relationship, the man is the head of the household. So the man's the leader. If you want the guy to be the provider, shouldn't he be the leader? You want to be the leader.
We're leading together.
That's not, you
that
can't.
doesn't
Leading
happen.
together, but you want him to pay for
think-
everything.
So you want a guy to.
So you just want to be taken care of, but not really contribute
Well, I want
much.
to take care of him too.
How?
Like, I mean,
How?
I'm not saying they're
not
paying for
financial.
everything. I'm just saying that they are the financial leader. Yeah, they
So-
could be the financial leader.
So financial leader, I feel like the key word is leader.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you just want him to lead financially, but not in other areas. Like, how do you want your man to like lead, but like, hey, you can't lead in any of these areas. But
Well,
you gotta pay for fucking everything.
And you probably also, I assume you probably also want the guy to make the first move, ask you out on the date, go for the first kiss, move things forward physically from there, take initiative, make decisions. Like, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe you're totally fine. I don't know. So I feel like there's definitely a lot of girls who don't know what they want to eat for dinner. So it's kind
Sometimes
of.
I just want my man to tell me. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I could get behind. Yeah, I don't want them to be like, well, what do you want to do? Like I want them to be like, we're doing this. Like, get ready. We'll be ready by this time.
Yeah.
There, okay. There
Okay,
we
you
go.
know, like I don't want them to be
There
like,
we go.
oh, well, where do you want to eat? Like, and then go back and forth forever. Like, I want them to take that kind of initiative.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, but you guys were saying that something that a man of value would want is your
Drive
and ambition.
But like career-wise.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like,
I don't care about that.
men don't really care. It's not that we don't care, it doesn't make you more attractive.
Okay, then take that off that
Like-
list.
For most men, your career, even if you're hyper successful, that's wonderful. That's really great for you, but it doesn't make you more attractive as a partner. Also, we don't really reap any benefits from your success because, I mean, you said your ambition. What was the other term? Sorry, it's blanking on me. Not ambition, but
Drive?
Drive, yeah. You said you want a guy to pay for first dates. So oftentimes, even if a woman makes a lot of money, she doesn't even want to equally contribute to the start of the relationship and pay for dates, pay for first dates. So why do men not care about your drive and ambition? Because quite frankly, we don't reap any benefits because women typically don't share their resources with men the same way that men share their resources
So
with
you,
women.
You only care about things that benefit you?
Well, I mean, we're all selfish to some degree, but like when it comes to the money component, why should I care? Like, it's not really a factor in our relationship. Like, the fact that you make good money is great for you, but if you're still expecting me to pay for the first date, why should I care about how much money you make? Especially early on in a relationship.
Can I play devil's advocate real
Sure,
quick?
absolutely.
But let's put a scenario, right? So, like you said, you don't care about how much money a woman makes in a relationship. You're taking care of her. But if that woman doesn't have any drive and ambition and you get in a tight spot where now you're not making enough money to provide for the both of you, aren't you going to be a little upset at your woman for not having that drive and ambition to have her own money in the way? Or let's say you're providing everything and now she's kind of like lax, right? Maybe she doesn't take care of herself as much. Maybe the house isn't always clean. And you're like, where did your drive and ambition go when we first got together where you dolled up every day? You took care of the house, you cleaned.
Well, I mean, I don't like women who wear a lot of makeup, so.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own, right? Like, totally understandable, to each their own.
I mean, good. She doesn't doll up. Awesome.
Okay, but
Cool.
let's replace that with something else.
I don't need my girl to paint her face.
Okay.
But so, okay, I'm
But
kind
playing
of-
devil's advocate to the sense of like, okay, now you're in a bind, you're in a tight spot.
Financial bind?
Financial bind.
Never. It won't happen. I am that confident in myself that I will never be in a financial bind. Ever.
Are you even into like the traditional role of like taking care of like a woman
Yeah.
100%? Because you kept making jokes about like, oh, well, like she needs to take care of me. She
I mean,
needs
look,
to do the
it's-
first date.
it's
I don't think
sure.
you really want to take care of someone 100%,
No.
do you?
Well, let me just answer your
Yeah.
thing really quick. I mean, again, perhaps some catastrophic thing happens, but I feel like I am so capable and I am so fuck, what's the term?
Resourceful?
No, it's not that. I don't think for me, I think financially I'm gonna be okay.
Okay. Now.
Like I don't know why she gave me a
Well,
weird
no,
look,
I believe
I'm
you.
just-
I believe you that financially you will be okay long term, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, this is so successful. This podcast is so successful. Absolutely. And you have other endeavors. But now let's take it to the point where, like, you're just kind of sick of your girl just not doing anything. Are you going to throw it in her face? Like, I pay for everything and you don't do shit. Where's your drive? Where's your ambition to, like, do something?
Do what? Are you
Cook,
saying? Are you
clean,
saying?
do, like-
I mean, okay. If I'm paying, so you're talking like if we're in a traditional thing where
Yeah.
I'm taking care of everything. Well, I mean, she should probably hold up her end of
Right,
the
but-
arrangement. So you're saying if she just got lazy and stopped doing that shit?
Yeah. That drive,
I mean,
that drive and ambition that she once had kind of went away.
drive. Well, there's drive and ambition for career, and then there's drive and ambition to fall into your traditional gender roles of taking care of the internal household.
But don't those go hand in hand? What if she just kind of, like,
No.
is lax to the fact that, like,
In
oh, shit.
general, just across the board, she's just a lazy person. I mean, obviously, look, as a woman, you need to, if you're single, you're going to have to be working in some capacity to provide for yourself, food, housing, etc. But
What if she just wants to stay in bed all day and just kind of chill and hang out and watch Netflix? She has
but
no
when-
drive
when
and no
we're-
ambition.
Oftentimes, when we're talking about these terms, drive and ambition, we're talking about it from an economic, financial, career perspective.
We could be, or we could be talking about it in the fact of, like, okay, she gets up, she starts her day, she does her workout, she goes to
Oh, that's
her
great.
yoga.
That's great.
She wants to go to a class and better her education.
acro
and mind.
yoga is a big red flag.
Acro what?
Acro yoga. I don't know if you've seen those fucking YouTube shorts. These chicks be doing acro yoga, big red flag. Regular yoga.
Okay,
that's
we'll keep it to regular
Acro
yoga.
yoga, no go.
Yeah.
Red flag, big red flag.
She had that
I'm
ambition
derailing.
to be a better
Yes,
person.
you should be a motivated individual.
Okay.
But like a woman's ambition, drive, and motivation when it comes to becoming a boss babe and making a ton of money, that isn't really an attraction trigger for most men.
Gotcha.
I don't think we really care all that much.
Okay.
It doesn't make you more attractive, even if you like.
Does it take
A
away?
woman's status doesn't. It's like we don't care.
Do you feel emasculated if
No.
your partner makes more money than you?
No, I mean I'd be fine in a scenario like that. I
Okay.
think most women would. It more so probably fall on the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think most women want to date a guy who's on their level or higher.
Mm-hmm.
Like us men, we would date if we're millionaires, we'll date a girl who works at Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give as long as she's a good person and she's physically attractive, do not care about your job. Obviously, we don't want somebody who's like destitute and broke and like really irresponsible with money. That's bad too. If you have a shit ton of debt, that's not ideal. But like we'll date a girl who's works at Chick-fil-A, don't give a fuck. A lawyer will date a girl, a doctor will date a girl who works a fast food job, who's a barista.
It's funny.
You've got an experience, right? You've probably got, I don't know, maybe you've been, I know you said you like probably guys more so in your age group, or maybe I'm assuming there, but I mean,
But the
have you
roles
ever
would
been hit on by
never-
like a hyper successful dude, like doctor, attorney, maybe on Hinge?
David.
The roles would never be reversed, though.
Yeah.
Women aren't gonna like a successful woman is not gonna
Exactly.
date a guy that's working at Chick-fil-A.
Exactly.
Sorry,
like
but
a woman
they
who's
ain't.
exactly a woman who's attorney
Yeah.
would not date. I mean, I remember when I was a bit younger, I matched with a woman who's a litigation attorney on Bumble, I think it was. She was making probably $200,000-$300,000 a year. In her bio, she said, "Even because of my career, I still want chivalry and the guy to pay for the first date." And I was like, "Bro, you make $200,000 a year. Like, I mean, I kind of get it, right? But." I think for women, it kind of, as you become more successful financially, it does start to shrink your pool of potential partners if your standard is, not necessarily, but if you want to date a guy who's on your level and above, if you get into the 1% career-wise, that you limit your pool, whereas as men make more money, it actually tends to open up their pool of potential partners.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Because men will
Men will
you could
fuck
be a
anything.
barista. We could be a fucking making 7 figures a year and does not fucking matter.
But I also think it depends on what kind of man we're talking about. I mean, how you're saying you're financially, you know, like stable, but I think for most middle class, lower class men, I mean, it probably
Sure.
is going to matter, you know, what your girl is doing. You'd probably want a woman with a little bit more ambition because you can't financially afford to, you know,
Well, I
not
will
have her work.
Sure, I see what you're saying. I would say the economic reality of, for the vast majority of people, just it's a reality for most to be able to afford rent, to be able to raise kids. Most people are going to need a dual income household.
Exactly.
However, what I would say to that is, even for that guy who's middle class, low class, what is it, middle class, whatever, he probably, like, if he meets a girl that he really likes and she makes less than him, like she's a barista and she's hot and she is pleasant, feminine, whatever it is, he's probably like, I think for men, it's not going to be an immediate disqualifier. Like, whereas you as a woman, if you're looking for a husband, the guy who's working a minimum wage job is like, that's from the get-go is probably not going to do it for you.